Um, Hello, we have slides. My name is Michael Honey-Arcement. I am a light-skinned male with black hair wearing a green t-shirt. And I want to talk to you about the World Wide Web. I want to talk to you about where we came from and where we could be. And I've been watching the World Wide Web grow over the last 30 years, and I've seen it become increasingly inaccessible, but the tide is starting to turn. So let's start in the beginning. We had text, no images, no audio, no interaction. In 1968, Douglas Engelbart was the first to really demo the concept of hypertext and the mother of all demos. In 1989, Sir Tim Berners-Lee took that concept and invented the web browser, the web server, and the language that underpins all of our careers, HTML. We're still just serving documents. Research institutions, universities, it's just a better way of sharing documents that you can then download to your own machine and then use whatever assistive technology you need to actually read that document. Sir Tim Berners-Lee called his project the World Wide Web. And in 1993, he made that public domain, and that entered us into Web 1.0. In the 80s and 90s, there were already walled gardens of hosted content for a monthly fee. AOL, Prodigy, CompuServe, others would let you use your dial-up connection for a subscription to access their content. In 1993, shortly after World Wide Web became public domain, the National Center for Supercomputing Applications at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign released Mosaic. And gradually, those online services had to cave to public pressure to allow their membership to use Mosaic to access this World Wide Web project. One of the defining breakthroughs of Mosaic was that it supported images and CSS. It spawned Netscape and Internet Explorer and the fall of the accessible but non-interactable web. Fast forward to 1995, 1996. We have the web of interactivity, Web 2.0. We have forms, audiovisual media, Flash, Silverlight, pets.com, Amazon. We have CSS was introduced, JavaScript, VB script were introduced, the XML HTTP request object to allow you to actually talk to the server and be able to pull requests. Things started to get increasingly oriented and increasingly marketed by capitalist developers, capitalist companies trying to take advantage of this new ecosystem. So what can we do about it? 2006, Sir Tim Berners-Lee coined the term Web 3.0. We needed a new generation of the web to start to pull back on some of the side effects of Web 2.0. It's the semantic web, the machine readable web, the Siri readable web. Blockchain would not be invented until 2 years later. Web 3.0, as the W3C envisioned it, is not Web 3. HTML5 is Web 3.0. CSS2 is Web 3.0. Especially the oral styles, so that when you're using semantic HTML, see Abby's talk for much more detail about this. You can actually specify tone and nuance and male, female speaker when your content is being read out. The WCAG guidelines use those data attributes to help machines interpret those pages and present that information. I mean, one of the goals that never really came to fruition is when you're going in and you're specifying a calendar event. Your browser would be able to see that's a calendar event and give you a little button to say, let me add this to your calendar. So what's the WCAG? How does it help? WCAG is the common pronunciation and for the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Because developers have lost their way. And so these are signposts to help bring the user experience back to the web for the great majority of humans and machines on this planet. The first versions of WCAG, versions 1 and 2, we're currently using the version 2 guidelines, are all inclusive. Your site is or is not accessible. You get graded A, AA, AAA, and you're going in and trying to grade the low-hanging fruit and trying to find, well, what's my legal obligation? Or what can I do just to kind of get by? And I'm going to go for that AA because that seems to satisfy most of the requirements for most of the countries. And it's fine. You're going to catch some disabilities. You're going to catch some people, but not everyone. Your site is accessible to most, but still is lacking. So currently in development is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 3.0, formerly codenamed Silver. And it is radically different. It is much more modular, much more focused. It's organized into groups of disabilities: audio, visual, cognitive, mobility. Others, it's still in development. Each of those individual groups is rated bronze, silver, or gold. So you can go in and say, my site is compatible, it is accessible for people with visual and cognitive impairments. If you're deaf, if you have some other audio impairment, we're sorry, we're working on that. And it's just straight out. You'll be able to eventually, hopefully, be able to go in and say what disabilities you are addressing, and then by omission saying what you're not. Furthermore, it is kind of a shot across the bow against these accessible and these overlays that don't actually do the job, because I said these are rated bronze, silver, or gold. You can go in and get that bronze level by self-audit. Silver and gold levels require what they're calling holistic tests. It's going in and saying, we need to test, you have to prove that you have tested with people with those disabilities using the assistive technology that they would be using normally. And so this is a really big, amazing step on how to take back the web and have content, have our applications be available to everyone, and also hopefully be available to the machines too, because I really want to go to the Virtual Coffee website and just be able to click a button and have, and that's the end of my talk.